Discover the future of gaming this November. Hear from over 90 speakers across the globe. Check out the newest Web3 games. Over 300 esports athletes and meet your future developers. The future of gaming is here. Don't get left behind.
Identify. Pirates. Get me an open channel. Show me their trajectory and cross-reference with our route. I know that ship. Prepare the fleet. Put 'em on.
This is Freighter's territory, my dear Catherine. You should know better than to pass through Echelon space.
Mars bows to no one, including Echelon.
Oh yes, the good old Markolian way. Hiding behind your shameless sense of superiority.
This is your last chance, Marlowe. Divert course or we will make you.
Did you hear that, crew? Looks like it's payday. Don't start something you can't
Armor Division!
At your command.
I want all weapon systems ready for transport.
Understood. Confirming all weapon systems ready to deploy.
Pull up tactical array.
Yo, what's up, everyone? I'm gonna be your host slash speaker for today. I am Disi, by the way, captain of YGG Elite, and we're gonna be introducing parallel trading card game to the community. And we have here AgentK, who's gonna be our guest speaker. AgentK, can you tell more about yourself to the community and like where you came from Web3 or like your background, maybe in Web2 as well?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Agent K. I'm the community lead for what was Gods Unchained Philippines. Now it's One Turn Tilt. We're a multi-TCG focused community, mostly of Filipinos, and started in Web3 with Axie, then jumped over to Gods Unchained, and been with Gods Unchained for the last probably I think 2 years already, and then running the group over there, doing events and doing tournaments, and then now branching out, looking at other games, and now we're looking at Parallel, and Parallel's like got me really hooked badly.
Yeah. Maybe
Nice.
like before we head towards like the game itself, because I feel like everyone would already want to see that. What's with Parallel that got you hooked with it compared to like
I will be straight, okay? So everyone here, I'm like an old dude. I'm like one of the old dudes here. Been playing TCG since '96. So, Parallel is a blockchain TCG. When I saw it, it's if you're deep into TCGs, you're like, oh, okay, I know that mechanic, I know how that works. But and then the deep sci-fi part of it is because it didn't really rub on me immediately.
Mhm.
But once you take the time to take a look at the whole project, right, the whole Parallel project, which is that's like opening up Pandora's box, right? So it's there's a lot to
Right.
digest in there if you
Yeah.
guys are into that, right? The tokenomics and all of that. But the gameplay is straightforward. If you have played other TCGs before, there's a lot that's familiar and there's a lot that's a little new, right? But there are very little, very good sci-fi TCGs out there, and now Parallel's just knocking it out of the park.
Yeah. Parallel is really
Nice.
hot right now, right? But I
Um,
think like did it start like 2019,
No,
20?
no, no. It only launched in March 2021. If
Mm,
you take a look at the if you guys would notice the Twitter page and all of their other social media, it's like it only started February 2021
I
for
see.
their pages. That's when they started like rolling out, and then that's when they started pack drops. I'm
Mhm.
not sure how early before that they started already development, but from the stories from the two founders, it's like they were just trying it and see if it would actually like click with the community, and the community just like grew and like grew like wildfire from that point.
Mhm. Yeah, Sidana, were you about to say something?
No, yeah, I was just gonna ask. So, like, newbie question, right? So,
Mhm.
technically, I'm representing, everyone else who's played Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic cards, and all of the traditional, TCGs. So, Agent K, what would you say is the combination of other games that makes makes parallel? So, what's a combination there? If you add all of the other games, what will make parallel?
Oh, okay.
He's already thinking about all the TCGs that he played.
Yeah, it's not a little, it's not few. Okay, so in terms of mechanics, right? Um, one very unique aspect of Parallel is the banking system, but it was done back in 2004
Wow.
by Versus System from Marvel DC. But it's such a great mechanic because like if there are MTG players around here, um, you'd be very familiar with getting mana screwed. Like when you pull your first hand and you don't have land, you don't have any way to get energy or mana for your cards in the early game. So Parallel has the option for you to actually use any card as a resource.
Mhm.
It lends itself to like a bit more stressful decision making early in the game because if you pull a hand and you actually like all the cards, then you have to force yourself to decide what you're gonna get let go, just so that you have energy. Not compared to other like other games like Hearthstone and
Yeah,
Gods Unchained, where you always get one mana every
yeah,
turn, right? So this one it's more active. You can opt not to put any card to up your mana or your energy. That's also an option in Parallel. But again, yeah, that part, what it would be like, or it's there are some mechanics that are familiar, that are similar across all the TCGs. They just have different names, of course. And then there are some tweaks to mechanics that we would be familiar with. Let's say like burn, or like where a creature would get hurt every end of the turn, but in Parallel, even adjacent units would get hurt.
gotcha.
So it's like spreads, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Um, So let's say from so like YGG TCG players, right? Most of them come from Axie Infinity. So from a scale of like 1 to 10, how hard or how challenging would be the transition from playing Axie Infinity to Parallel B?
Can I answer that instead? Because I think
Hey,
I'm
go
better.
ahead,
Yeah,
this.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would be more
actually.
for Disi.
So
Yeah.
here's the funny thing, right? I'm not like very heavy on like TCG, like my background at least compared to Mr. K. So it's really crazy. Like it's really crazy when I tried like parallel for the first time. Like no background in like Hearthstone, Magic. Like just slowly tried to learn the game, and I really got hooked into it. Like no sugar coating or anything. It's really what happened to me, and I felt like it's very like newbie friendly. Like the the setup for it to start with is like very friendly. So yeah, so
I
for
just
those of
wanna
you, just to like hype you guys a bit, like for me who's not like heavy into like TCG, didn't really spend much in the game. I was even able to hit leaderboards when I first tried it.
Nice. So
So yeah.
guys, yeah, there you have it, right? So before we kick off our boot camp, we are going to be dropping the link for everyone else to sign up for the YGG community. Sign up for Parallel here. So I'm dropping that in the chat right now on the YGG Discord. For everyone else watching on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, join us. Well, we are at the English Voice channel on the YGG Discord. That's discord.gg/YGG. So that we can help you if you guys have any questions while we're running through the very basics for the rest of the stream. So, DC, Agent K, the floor is yours. Feel free to share your screens, and here we go.
All right. I think Kay would share his screen. All right.
Okay. Okay, so I've got the main game menu of Parallel up on screen right now. So you've got the main menu on the left side, the sidebar, and then you've got the missions on on the right. You've got a weekly challenge and daily missions here on the right side. At the bottom is your progress for the battle pass.
Mhm.
So that's a lot of information right there already. So at the top you've got currency, and then your player profile on the upper right. So we're just gonna jump in and give you guys a quick look at a game at the game for like how new
Mhm.
players get into the game, right? So
Mhm.
first off, we started this stream with an awesome look. We played through the tutorial cinematic, and that's like a taste of the world of Parallel. And I have to call it out, right? Because it's not often done by other game studios or other games, where from the opening cinematic, you immediately get taken into the tutorial. And the tutorial is characters straight from the cinematic. It's a small thing, but it's such a great way to introduce new players into the game and the world. So I can't play the tutorial right now anymore because I played it like months ago.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna show you what
Yeah.
other things there are for new players. So new
Mhm.
players, after they play the tutorial, the next step they would have to go through or they would have to play through is rookie mode. Rookie mode is you have all five parallels here in rookie mode. Parallels meaning Olginkor, Earthen, Cathari, Markolian, and Shroud. I'll go in a little bit into the lore later while we're playing, but yeah.
Mhm.
So
I
just
think
to
before we actually move forward,
Mhm.
maybe we can like discuss actually like what is like the deck itself, right?
Yeah, like
So
what are the cards?
actually, yeah, the deck itself consists of like 40 cards, and those 40 cards can either be cards from a specific type of deck or a universal like card. So those are like different types of cards, and you can distinguish it. The easiest way that maybe me and Kate could say it is that there's gonna be like NFT cards, and then those cards you call AP cards, which are like non-NFT. So as basic as that, I would say.
Yeah,
And yeah, you just need to build up like 40 cards in one deck, and just depends on which type of deck you want to build. And there are like five different decks. So coming from me, who's not like very TCG language, maybe, or like whatever you call it, the five decks is first maybe the aggressive one. The aggressive one would be Markolian, right?
yeah. Aggro
Is
would be Markolian.
aggro, which is like I the other TCG
Rush.
people would call like red deck, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm. And then there's gonna be the Shroud deck, the purple one. So this deck is actually what they call the mid-range one, right?
Yeah, mid-range control.
With range control, right? Same
Mhm.
with Ogen Core, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Augen Core is slightly different in the sense that you buff your units through upgrades, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll get to that. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then we have the Cathari deck, which some one of my friends told me it's actually called a zoo deck, like a
Yes.
summon deck.
It's zoo weenie token deck,
Mhm.
meaning like you there are units that just produce more units, small units, and then you swarm the enemy.
Yeah, and then the last one is the green one,
Earth Echo.
which is the. My friend told me this is a ramp up deck, or do you call it like something else?
Um, it has ramp
Right.
capabilities where you have cards that would give you like an extra energy for your
Mm-hmm.
turn, and that would help you like summon higher cost units compared to your opponent. But there are other mechanics that are unique to each parallel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll find that out as we
So
go on.
the game itself, you know why I think it's like really good, because Parallel themselves provided a cheat sheet for the game.
Oh yeah.
So can you like maybe show a glimpse of that? I'm gonna drop it on the chat as well. It's
Uh,
like it's
I've
like I
got
didn't really
that.
like see it maybe in my first few days of playing, but when I saw it, I was like, wait, there's something like this? Like for
Yeah,
me to easily understand all the terms in game.
they at
Like
least thought about it, right?
yeah, like I was actually surprised. Like they actually thought about this. It's like crazy.
Yeah, I've got it shared right now. If you can put it up on screen.
Uh,
Yeah. So while we're waiting for that, quick question. So
Mhm.
for beginners like me, right? So I signed up. I used the link. Now I'm in game. Are all the beginner decks, or which decks can I start and play with right away to learn the game
Okay,
without going to the
yeah,
marketplace or getting any NFTs?
right. So the rookie mode actually is where you would unlock rookie decks, right? And those are already 40 card decks. And so um, when you go into rookie mode, you for each parallel, so there are 5 parallels, you're asked to win 5 times with each. For every win, you're rewarded with stuff. The second win with each parallel rewards you, if I'm not mistaken, if it's the second win or the third win, it rewards you with the actual rookie deck that you're using in rookie mode so that you can play it outside rookie mode.
yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's reward 3. So reward 1 and 2 is reward 1 is a pack and the second paragon or main character for that faction or parallel, because there are 3 main characters for each parallel. So in the beginning, when you're new, you haven't played any of the rookie mode games or rookie mode missions yet, you only have the initial main characters for each parallel. So, for example, for Marcolian from the cinematic, it was the girl, Catherine Lapointe. And then as you keep on playing, you win one, then you get another paragon and a pack, and then you win the second time, you get the third paragon or main character. You win a third time, then you get the rookie deck to use for outside in the game. Then the fourth time you get a premium pack, and then the fifth time you get a legendary card.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So technically, so for beginners, there is a progression. You start with the first rookie deck, and then you work your way up to get the better decks. Then you learn more. Then you get to battle other people. Then that's when you decide if you need to get more cards or how you wanna build out your playstyle. Okay,
Yep.
awesome. So yeah, Disi, how does this look like? What can we expect from the cheat sheet right here?
Basically, the cheat sheet would show you all the terms that might be new when you actually play the game. So, wait, before I move forward to that, I just want to answer some questions because before we miss it, you cannot actually combine 2 decks together, if I'm not mistaken.
You
Right?
cannot combine
Yeah.
specific parallel cards with other parallel cards, but there are universal cards which
Universal
are
cards.
available to all 5.
Yeah. And Bibbs asked me how many days did I take to learn the game. Probably like maybe around 3 days. Maybe on the first week I was able to like get a gist of how to enjoy the game already.
It's
But
actually
yeah,
pretty easy and fast.
yeah,
The on ramping, especially nowadays, because Parallel has done such a great job with content creators. There's a lot of content on YouTube
yeah.
about how to start on Parallel also. And you've got YGG and us in Tilt who are available to help out.
Can always ask us as
Yes,
well.
sir.
Mhm.
Let's head towards the cheat sheet. So basically, as what we said a while ago, there's like 40 cards in the deck, which is shown there. And
Mhm.
then normally you would also have 30 life points.
Yep.
Yeah. Then max hand side would be 8, 5. The first turn is actually randomized um, till date. So I don't think there's a way for you to secure a turn one or a turn two yet.
Yeah, it's random. Yeah, whoever goes first. But there are ways for there are I wouldn't I some people would say penalties, right? So if you're going first, uh, you don't draw because you have first turn advantage, right? Like that's all. That's pretty common across TCGs where there's always the person who goes first usually has an advantage throughout the game because he's the initiator for any action, and the second player is usually reacting to what the first player is doing. So to try to level that off, the first player doesn't draw for the first turn.
Mhm.
It's called summoning sickness in Magic the Gathering.
Oh, see, I don't even know that. I don't even know those terms.
Just kidding. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. The mechanics change, right? Depends on like how the game is really played. I think we are ready to get into a game. Maybe one of you guys could help us out and walk us through, defeating our first opponent. How does
Yeah.
that work?
Yeah, just make sure you actually bookmark that cheat sheet, guys. That's actually gonna be very helpful for
Yeah, the cheat
everyone. It's
sheet is
gonna,
yeah pretty good
all the terms
to
there is
refer.
like I tried to understand it on my own before. I was like, hey, what is assault? What is like master? And then I messaged some like friends who's also like playing. Oh,
Oh, it's crazy if you like played multiple TCGs already, and then you're familiar with different mechanics, and then the names are just
Yeah.
different, right? So,
uh,
and then you're gonna like, oh, that's assault is frenzy in Gods Unchained. Oh, okay, so defender is taunt in Magic the Gathering, something like that. So you'll be able to like put one and one together. So what are we playing first, Disi?
um, since I actually
Marcolian or
suggested
Shroud?
someone on the stream that maybe aggro deck might be the easiest, maybe we
Sure.
can test it out.
And if
But I think just a disclaimer, I think the aggro deck in Rookie Challenge is a bit different in terms of like optimization to the open world.
and that's because you've been playing.
True, true, true. Because I always like hear some of my friends and my brothers as well when they tried it. They were like, the aggro deck is kind of hard to play. I was like, oh, you're gonna enjoy it soon.
Mhm. I have to okay, so quick disclaimer there. The actual early game pieces for the rookie deck for Marcolian, which is recognized as the red deck, the rush deck for parallel, the pieces are actually there. Right? So it's just that it's missing some of the stronger cards that would make it viable in rank. But the actual rookie mode deck, the rookie deck itself, is pretty solid in the sense that it does have the pieces to give you an idea. If you're new, right? If you're new to the game, it does do a good job of introducing you to what Marcolians are doing in rank,
Mhm.
right? You're just missing a couple of pieces. But
Um,
shall I jump in?
yeah, I think before we head, it's
Mhm.
good to say that every deck actually has its own paragon. So maybe you can just glimpse over the paragon tab.
Oh, the Paragon?
Yeah, because paragons are like your, how do you say it? Like your
Your main
Main-
character in the game.
main
Your
character
avatar.
or like your leader,
Mhm.
the leader of the deck. So each one has a different active and a passive like skill or something like that.
Yep.
So
So just to go back and show that, right? I'll jump over to
the paragons,
Paragons here, and
and
you'll be
that's
able to
actually what makes the game actually fun because there's a lot of like combinations as well.
right.
Wait, I think you're not sharing your paragons.
Wait, are you guys seeing the cheat sheet? Oh, you gotta switch over to the game screen now.
Yeah, this one, the one that I'm showing on my screen as well. There's like 3 each deck.
Yes. So each parallel has 3 paragons, right? So, or you can
Look how
think,
cool they
of
are.
them as 3 generals or 3 main characters. So you have Ogenkor, and then there's Arak, who's a giant robot, and then Jan, who is a more
Look, I have
robot
two
than
as well.
person now. Yeah, Juggernaut Workshop with an exoskeleton. Yeah, so and then we will be playing Marcolian, this is the character straight from the cinematic, Catherine Lapointe. And then she has Lemieux, one of her soldiers or lieutenants, if I remember correctly, and then the armored division headquarters, which is just this is just a character representation, but because that's like a whole division, so it's this. Okay, well, yeah, all of them have actives and passives, meaning they are actual units in the game. You can summon them. They have cost, except for one unit, which is the Juggernaut Workshop. But that we'll cover that in a later stream probably. But all the other paragons, you can bring them into the game. They have an active ability, but even if they get killed or removed from the game, their passive runs active throughout the whole match.
I think that's very important to remember because I actually didn't know that when I also like started. I asked some friends again, like, hey, is the passive of the paragon still working even if it dies or something like that? Then the answer is yes.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe you can go test it like a game on your end, Kay.
Sure. Probably should play against AI if we want to go faster. I'm not sure if anyone's playing rookie mode right now.
Ah, true. Maybe we can test it out with AI and.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Before we
Wait,
see
I
how-
should change my decks because I'm using like my
Yeah.
rank mode decks.
So, Agent K, could you just quickly change your share screen to the game back again?
Oh, okay.
Oh, true. Oh, that's me.
There you go.
One day without.
Which one do we go with? Shroud. And then we go with. Yeah. Okay, so we're playing Marcolian versus Shroud. Just a quick breakdown. Marcolian is rush, aggro, early units, and burn, meaning direct damage to the opposing enemy. Shroud is control, remove from the game, which is what they call in the game banish, right? And they are the only ones who have access to another, like for other games you would call it the graveyard. It's called the singularity in
Yeah.
parallel.
So let's discuss the mulligan phase first. So when you start the game, you have the option to actually withdraw the first 5 cards you draw by clicking that.
You can click everything if you don't like
Yeah.
anything, right? But again, and then for the sake of everyone who's just like tuning in and watching this, each of the cards have their own effects, of course. Oh, and I forgot to click so I
Yeah,
didn't
and most of
change
the
that.
time you would want to redraw the cards that you might want to play in mid game or like late game.
Mhm.
So that's how you usually value it, and then maybe retain cards that you can play early or you can bank. So banking is like what Agent K would do now. So banking is putting one card on the lower right side, and that's gonna be an equivalent energy, like +1 energy into the game.
Gotcha. This is where what you said, Agent K, right? Like the cards can also serve as energies, unlike in other TCGs.
Yep. In Magic, if you don't have land, which is the specific card that you need to generate mana every turn, then you're screwed for the early game. You can't play any card at all.
Cool, cool, super cool.
Correct. So that card I just played right now, this unit can't attack. It's a heavy weapons team. Markolian has a mechanic called Assault, where most of its abilities, or there are abilities from their units, are activated if you damage the enemy player first during the turn. So this heavy weapons team, it costs just 1, so it's an early unit definitely, and it just pings the enemy at the start of your turn every turn. So you're already enabling all your other cards because of just that one unit. I'm gonna bank another card which costs pretty high. This is Annihilate, and it's an effect card. It's 5 costs, so I can't really use it for a good while. So I'll put that there.
Bib said you can sacrifice your card to gain energy. Yeah, most of the time, especially like early to like mid or a bit late, you would always want to get like to bank a card, because banking a card rewards you to draw a card at the end of your turn as well. So
Yep.
basically, if you don't bank, you don't get an energy, and then you don't get the draw card at the end of your turn. So you're kind of losing 2 resource, which is energy and card draw.
Yep.
So usually you can opt not to bank cards in the late game if you really have to play a certain card. Can you customize the decks? Yeah, you could. Customize, like change cards, something like that, or like aesthetically. Both of which you can do. Yeah. So I think usually the red deck or the aggro deck wants like control over the board, right, Kay?
Yes.
Mhm.
That's the strength, and at the same time the weakness of aggro decks. They are very dependent on board control. They have to have board advantage because they just have to keep on damaging the enemy very early. For Markolians, they do that from turn 1 to 4 more often than not. And then later on, they would rely on, if not on vehicles, which this deck doesn't have at all, they would rely on burn effects, meaning like you play an effect card and it damages the enemy directly.
Mhm.
So right now I've got like 3 energy. I got the energy to play 2 cards, and this is where Catherine Lapointe's passive ability comes into play, because for every second unit you play each turn, the second unit gets +1/+1. So that is unique to
Mhm.
Catherine,
Yeah,
and you can actually you can build decks.
that is the passive, right?
Yeah, that's the passive, right?
So someone's actually asking, can you actually like combine factions? No, no. The answer is no. So as we said, there's like 5 like decks, right? So 5 different like factions, and so those are like 5 different colors for cards, and then you also have like a universal card here, where everyone can access it. So basically, you cannot combine like different factions, but all the factions can only use a certain finger or a certain like faction along with the universal cards. Something like that.
Yes, right. So for example, this one, the first, the third, and the fourth card on my board right now, those are all Markolian cards,
Mhm.
and those are labeled with that circle. That's the
Mhm.
Markolian logo.
Yeah.
But if you take a look at the hired gun, he's got the parallel symbol. This is a universal card.
Mhm.
So any faction or any parallel can put this in their decks.
Yeah.
What? Wait, hold on. Let me.
But there might be cases where you can actually play a card from a different deck if you can like steal a card, you know.
Yes.
That's the only time that maybe you can play a card from another deck. But normally, when you're building the deck, you cannot do that.
You will see those kinds of shenanigans more often than not from Shroud.
Because like since we're facing Shroud right now, this type of deck can actually banish cards.
Mhm.
So there's a difference between destroying and banish. So we haven't talked about the waste. So the waste is where the destroyed card goes. So
Yep.
if it's like beaten by the like opponent's card, it goes to the waste. But there's an option from the purple deck, which is the Shroud, where if it actually banishes you, it goes into the singularity. So the good thing about this is that you don't have to totally remember what are those cards that are like wasted or singular or in singularity or banished. You can just like click it on the game right now. So K can actually click the singularity in the opponent's side, so you can actually which cards are actually banished, and then you can actually check his waste cards as well, so that you can see which cards you actually wasted already.
Yeah, he's already
But
played.
yeah,
Yep.
you cannot see the bank cards, so you
No,
can
but
only see
there
the
are
bank cards,
mechanics that will show
yeah,
you the bank cards.
when you actually reveal it.
Mhm.
So those are some stuff. And then you can see that there's like 25 cards left on his deck and like 26 on you. And there would be a penalty when that goes to zero as well. Whenever you draw like at zero deck.
Yep. And that's pretty punishing because if you, unlike other games, if you have 0 cards left in your deck to draw, right?
Yeah,
It's
so the the number on your like top near your name is actually your life point. So his opponent is actually at 6 now and he's at like 28. So that starts with 30, and then when it reaches zero, um you're gonna lose.
Yep, and he's down to 5 already. And if Catherine, this the Cath, okay, so this unit on the board on his side is his Paragon. This is Brand. And what he does is just like anytime he damages a unit, an enemy unit, just damage, right? He transforms them into a 4/4 unit, and it goes into the singularity. So if you think that, oh, okay, so nothing happens, so my unit just became another ghost in his singularity. But what happens is if you kill him, he brings all of those out, all at the same time. So that's his active ability.
Mhm.
So
Um,
for Catherine though, right now, which I'm worried that once the turn ends, Catherine might just end the game
mhm.
because you cannot attack actively with Catherine. She will just attack whoever she wants.
Yeah,
That's
and one good like thing to consider when playing parallel is that you always try to maximize the passive of the characters. So when I was actually playing like Catherine, I was always like obsessed on like how do I make the most out of like getting the +1/1 passive that you can get from her.
yeah.
Like you always have to like consider that. So there's a question here.
Mhm.
Like can you actually overflow like life points in the game?
No, unless you have a there is a paragon who suddenly buffs your maximum life total to 40.
Yeah. So normally the game would set you at like 30 max, starting at 30 and then max at that. But there's just like one paragon from the green deck
Yeah,
which
from Earth.
lets you start at 40.
Hmm.
So that's a different like story. But normally it's 30 and cannot overflow.
Well, quick recap. It just happened there. Catherine attacked Brand and killed him, but Brand died and banished Catherine. And then since Brand died, he pulled out all 3 of the corrupted visions from the singularity.
Mhm.
So now
Yeah.
suddenly the game has shifted.
I think it's good to point here, Kay,
Mhm.
that there are cards named like Defender
Yeah.
in the game where basically if let's say Kay would attack the opponent directly. Can you show that? So
I can't anymore.
Yeah.
because
So if
because
he
there is a
actually
defender.
tries to do that, he can still do it, but
Mhm.
it would prompt something on his opponent.
Yeah.
So the game would ask his opponent, "Would you like to defend this attack with your defender unit?" So those cards with defender tag can actually do that.
That's something very
Um,
for Magic players would
can
know,
you right click on the defenders to show everyone the defender tag? Yeah, so that is a defender tag.
and that would look like a shield here at the bottom.
And then you can maybe hit now and see if he's actually gonna defend it, so that people can see how it works.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
it
It's so
blocked it.
fast because normally a human being would still think about it, something like that. But since it's AI, it's gonna be so fast.
Yeah, but AI is not very smart on this side. So yeah, it just like attack my defender, and then when this defender dies, I get to choose who to kill or who to damage with 3 attack. So I'll take care of their defender. So if he doesn't clean up my board, I will be able to go. Yeah, see, so
So
he went face. So yeah, okay, there he cleared it.
So basically, guys, if you don't have any defender in your board, your opponent has the option to directly hit your life points. So it's actually very important in some games to actually control that because you can always do some good trades if you actually have a defender. Like for example, if you have 2 defender, you can always do like the math to make the most out of them. Like A, I mean, card A would take a bit of damage first, and then when your opponent attacks again, you're gonna split it to card B, something like that. So I don't know if there's like maybe there's like something like that on other TCGs, right?
Yep.
But for
Yep.
me, who's like very new to this kind of stuff,
Mhm.
I'm actually enjoying it. Like sometimes I feel like I'm so smart.
I can already finish the game though. So he's got just 1 health, and then this unit once summoned deals 1 damage to the
Yeah,
enemy.
so the muster there, the muster term is that when you actually use the card, the muster would take effect.
Yep.
So there would be tags like aftermath and muster. So muster happens when you play it. Aftermath happens when that card is destroyed.
Yep.
So that is like the opposites there, I would say.
Keen Force question about defender. Yes, it prevents. It doesn't. Okay, so defender doesn't prevent targeting. It gives if you are the controller of the unit that has defender, and someone attacks. For example, like Disi wants to attack one of my units, then I have a choice whether to let my defender take that unit's place for that attack.
Yep. Yep. So you can either defend the life points or another unit.
Yeah.
I think that's the question there.
So that's game 1.
Maybe you can show like another like maybe Shroud quickly.
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem.
Like very very quick.
Who do you want to play
So,
against?
Mr. Gabby Dizen's favorite is actually the Shroud deck. It was actually very fun. I played it a couple of times last season.
So we'll roll with Shroud next, going against Kathari. Kathari is the Zoo token deck, and then Shroud is the mid control deck, where you remove other units and put them into your singularity, with a chance for you to use them.
All right, let's go. Let's do last one quickie for Shroud deck. Yeah, Kathari Zoo deck is good as well, and it's like as I said, I started with it, and it's actually fun, especially when you're winning.
that end there, right? Especially when you're
Like
winning.
when you actually play the Zoo deck and you're winning, and you have like so much on the board, It feels so good.
Oh yeah, so there's that other thing, right? Some other TCGs have a maximum board unit,
Oh,
a board limit,
I
right?
see.
Parallel does not. You
Yeah,
have a scroll bar.
you
You can
can
like
you can
scroll
play like
across left and
100
right.
unit if the game takes that long.
Yeah, I like my probably pretty hopeful hand here. Yeah, we got a 4 cost and a 5 cost, but 2 life siphons and an engine
Um,
whisper.
just to tell everyone as well. So whenever you bank a card, right, you get one energy. If you actually don't use it, it's just gonna be wasted. So it's always smart for you to make the most out of your energy in most games. I think like as like a new player before, that's how I think at least. Then maybe when you play more, you're gonna change it a bit, but that's the gist of what you want to do every now and then.
So this is like a key card for the early game for Shroud because it lowers the cost of your effects cards.
Mhm.
But of course, it's 1/1, so it's easy to ping.
And it's actually stacking.
hmm Oh, I don't have any units, but we can kill that Reliant Gamma unit of his with a siphon.
Mhm.
And that the life siphon, once you kill something, it deals 2 damage. But once it's and if you kill the unit, it goes straight. It doesn't go to his waist. That's the key thing about Shroud. You're actually taking cards away from the enemy. So his unit died. It went to it. It should have gone to the waist, but the effects of Shroud will make that unit go to your singularity. So singularity is a second area where banish units go, and and Shroud has a lot of effects and abilities that will let you use the cards in your singularity. So even so that the question earlier about like, oh, can you like mix factions or mix parallel cards? From deck building, no, but from gameplay, yes. I don't have
Oh,
units.
I actually have question for you, Kay.
Hmm.
Like, um, wait, I was lost. Do you think the like how the game looks, like the text at least, is a bit like small?
Yeah.
Because I usually get that like comment from some of my friends trying to play the game,
Yep.
like as a viewer, right?
hmm
So maybe just to share you, that was also a bit like challenging for me when I started to play the game, because especially when you don't know much of the cards yet, right? You
Yeah.
were like, how do I know this card? I can't like read everything and stuff. So one thing that I actually learned like a bit late is clicking like right click on cards to see what
Yeah.
you can actually like see
You
from
can
like.
you can mouse over it and it'll give you a
Mhm.
small window, but if you
Yeah.
right click on it, it makes it bigger.
If you right click, you're gonna get more information, and then there's gonna be like like stuff where there's
The
gonna be like
lore.
upgrades or
Mhm.
like special stuff from aftermath from some cards. You can actually see it when you right click on cards.
That's right. And hold on. Oh, there we go. So we're going to be able to play the this should have been earlier because it's already turn 3, but since we now have 2 of the pieces, we can actually do it. Enemy has a 0/3 unit on the board, so I can hit it with 1 without getting killed. The engine whisper for 1/1. Pull out the singularity steward, which is 0/3. But this has the ability if there's any unit from the whole board, his side or your side that gets banished, it gets +2/+1. So
This
I
is the
can
juicy
kill it.
part.
Yeah, so that's the juicy part.
This
So
is the juicy part with Shroud.
that's like the satisfying part for
Yeah.
Shroud.
The most satisfying, like a
Like,
one energy cost
yeah,
that can probably reach like 8 damage until like mid to late game.
yep.
And if your opponent cannot stop it, you're just gonna be
huge.
happy the whole time. I think it's also like important to tell people what the other part is in the board. Like as you can see, the opponent has like the board divided into two, right? There's gonna be like the units and the relic.
Hmm.
So relics are usually not like active, I would say. But
No, they
um,
are like ongoing effects.
yeah,
Yeah,
ongoing
but
effect.
there are also relics that are you manually activate them, like this, the Hydralisk Chamber for Cathari. But the other relics, they are similar to ongoing effects in other TCGs in other games. So as long as you have them there on the board, they don't attack. You can't attack them, but there are cards that will target them, like destroy target relic or steal target relic, something like that, and they will be there and they'll just keep on being active for that purpose.
Hmm.
But yeah, this like feels so good. Like the Paragon, you're banishing the Paragon by and then make your Singularity Steward bigger.
Yep. Yep. So that's
This is
how
why
you
Gabby
actually,
plays this deck.
yeah, it's so good because especially that like forecast, you can just like banish anyone, right? I think even those with like the shielded effect could still be banished. Am I right?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
If your opponent has like the shielded effect, it can
Yes.
still be banished.
Oh no,
So
wait. Okay, no, wait. So shielded is another keyword, right?
yeah,
It,
yeah.
it's a very specific keyword. For other games, it would be like shield or ward for Gods Unchained, but it's very there's a bit of a nuance for it because it only protects the unit from targeted effects cards. So there's two criteria there. The effects card should target like this, the erasure, banish target unit. So shielded protects the unit from a card like this, but shielded does not protect it from an effect from a unit. So this can still target a shielded unit,
And
and it
that's
can
why
still
it's
banish.
OP.
Yeah,
OP,
yeah.
OP.
Hmm. So there, I'm gonna like banish his 4/4, like, and then it makes my steward bigger again.
Yeah. And technically you steal them. When you
Yep.
banish them, you steal them.
Yeah, it's
And
like
you have the option to play them in
later.
some form. That's why it's so good.
Well, there's this, right? This card. Until the end of your turn, you may play cards from your Singularity as though it was in your hand. So now I can play his cards because I stole them. Right?
Hmm. Yeah.
That's the whole thing with Shroud.
And this is just the brand Paragon, guys. The one like my favorite,
Mhm.
you can always have access to Singularity if you turn it on. And it's like, so good.
Yeah, just for the cost of one health, right? Every turn, that Paragon is actually a ship. It's not. It's
But
not a
you,
character, right?
you guys would fight it out as long as
Yeah, yeah.
you play the game. And
Mm.
I won't spoil it.
So bring that out, and then
So
that
yeah, if
out.
you guys miss the cheat sheet again, I'm gonna drop it again on the chat. Make sure to check it out when you play the game. It's gonna help you if you cannot like ask anyone. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me as well on my Discord or like yeah, mostly on Discord. Yeah, that one or like click my name and stuff.
Yep.
I'd be like glad to help you out. Just don't ask me for like
Personal questions.
NFT cards,
Oh,
like just like info, maybe info. I cannot like provide you guys NFT cards. Yeah.
yeah, we gotta invite you guys tomorrow again. We're gonna do this again at the same
It's-
time.
I think that's a different game.
But I can actually clear this game out already.
But yeah, I think for today we were just gonna be showing the Markolian and the Shroud. So hopefully we are like telling you at least how those decks works or like the gist of it. And then for tomorrow, we're gonna discuss the Zoo deck, the Kathari, the Zoo Kathari deck, the green deck, and the purple one. I mean the orange one. So
Yep.
there's like three more decks that we would discuss tomorrow, so that when you guys actually go into the game, you will not be like surprised anymore, and you will get an idea of how those decks actually work. Like normally there would be decks that would counter your decks, but you're gonna be able to figure out the win con at least. There's like always like at least 1% for you to chance for you to win the game, you know?
We'll also dive into other details about the game in terms of
Yeah.
like battle
So,
pass,
yeah.
what's available
If
in
you
the
guys have like
store.
any questions that you might want to ask, take note of it, and then we're gonna discuss more of that tomorrow as well. More questions the better as well, so that we're gonna be like um I could
Nice.
say that you guys has learned a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys finish the rookie mode quick, that's the best thing.
Yeah. So by tomorrow, guys, right? We will be giving you time. You have 24 hours to check out the game. Finish the rookie modes. Try to pick out your deck, get a feel of how to play it, and yeah, we'll be joined by Agent K and Disi once again. Same time tomorrow. That's going to be 11 p.m. SGT. Same place here on the YGG Discord with a multi-stream across the board. So yeah, hope you guys can get started. Don't forget to check your spam folders when you register, because sometimes it gets sent over there to verify your emails. So by tomorrow, make sure to have your decks in your games up and ready. So DC, Agent K, thank you so much for your time. And we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. This is episode 1 of the Parallel Bootcamp featuring YGG and One Turn Tilt. Guys, before we go, don't forget we will be having our very first big time community roundtable happening right after. Same place. Don't leave. We are going to be on the same channel here on the YGG Discord. So all of you guys, all of you big time players out there, we're going to be talking about the current state of the economy and what to expect from all the other big time community leaders across the board. So once again, my name is John Sedano, and I'll be seeing you in the metaverse. Cheers, guys. Agent K, DC, thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
GG.
Discover the future of gaming this November. Hear from over 90 speakers across the globe. Check out the newest Web3 games. Over 300 esports athletes, and meet your future developers. The future of gaming is here. Don't get left behind.